Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Let's take a quick look once more at Solana, see what's going on. We can see some type of flag pattern here forming. While it's never perfect, and this may even be a falling wedge type of pattern, the simple way to understand is we're working ourselves into a descending channel, and the overall sentiment here for this coin is still pretty strong. So we're going to talk about why I feel that way. It's mostly just indicated on the charts with volume and of course liquidation. But for the most part, there's a good chance we will probably break to the upside here soon, pending Bitcoin doesn't run towards sub 100,000, which yesterday it actually ran towards that $100,000 range, that upper 100 range, and we could see 166 was tested here, 167. Good news is we had a nice short open here for Bitcoin from over the weekend. We had a good 28% on that drop with an XRP and SUI long prior to that. So you can catch profits in both directions, folks. You just want to be careful. Don't be like a megalomaniac trying to take shorts and longs at the same time all the time. I've been doing this for over 20 years, so you get a feel for it. And while Bitcoin was showing weakness here recently, altcoins were surging. We're starting to see that opposite now. Bitcoin's starting to look like it's doing well, and altcoins are pulling back. So it's an interesting little dynamic, but we're going to pay attention to a few important things. So let's take a look at back in liquidation, kind of see what's up, and go from there. And don't forget to hit the like button, folks. Thank you again to those who always do so, and just be an amazing part of my life. I have a really awesome community, and it just brings a lot of value to know that I'm helping people. So thank you again for that wonderful feedback. So Solana here, liquidation. There's some late longs here at about 165, reasonably so. I get that. But that's kind of an area of concentration on the downside there. There's a little bit upwards of a 182, so we're kind of smack dab in the middle there. But we get closer to 180, there's a good chance we probably see that run towards that previous 185 to 190 range. Okay, but just note from a liquidation standpoint, we don't have like a tremendous amount in either direction, so that doesn't necessarily incentivize the price to go either direction. What does incentivize us here is that liquidation delta is getting closer to break even. And usually you can identify that as like a shift in momentum, but also helps indicate that we're more likely to bounce and recover here now that we've sold or a lot of longs have secured profits, and the bears are effectively losing control. They're trying to sell off, but can't seem to have that strength, if you will. So if we take a look here at open interest, we can see 163 to 180. These are the two areas of concentrations, both above and below, and currently at 174. So we got a lot of people opening positions here locally in the 174 to 180 range. So bad news is this 180 concentration, that's going to be some exit liquidity if we come up there, or at least potentially. That really implies that we have more people kind of underwater on taking late longs in this coin than the other way around. So that's never really a great sign, but it's not that big of a deal either, because when you look at the price action, it looks a lot more favorable. So let's talk about that. First of all, the daily time frame, recognizing here we're still at this point where we're above 70 in the RSI. You generally don't want to sell. Okay, that's kind of the concept there. If you have a long position open, you leave it open until that comes back down. But good momentum here. We can see a stochastic shift here, but I think that's a little premature. I don't really pay too much attention to stochastic momentum on daily time frames if other things are conflicting, right? So if everything's telling you we're fully bullish, and then you got this one indicator saying it's bearish, you don't attach yourself to that one thing, right? That's the concept here. The overall sentiment is that we're looking good. We've also got a doji candle from yesterday, and so far today a rising, I think that's a dragonfly doji, if I'm not mistaken, where it essentially is looking very strong, where we have an open and close getting closer to the same point at the higher point. In other words, it came down as low as 166, but we're still right back to where we started here today. And that implies a lot of sustainability and strength for the bulls. So that's a good sign. So this last 24-hour period is looking pretty positive. We look here as well at the 4-hour time frame. We're back up over the 20-day SMA. We've been over the 50 for a while. Maintaining above the 50-day SMA, I would say, is that good barometer of where we're at. And this is actually nice when you see the RSI coming back down closer to 50, getting that bounce, and the price action is trying to recover here. We're starting to break tentatively bullish here. We can see that stochastic swing to the upside. MACD is trying to converge. There's more positivity here than negative, just based on the overall sentiment. Because again, what you want to look for is the RSI to be above the moving average, which it's not. However, we have the money flow index above it. Okay, what that basically tells us is that people feel like it's a good value. They're buying this coin, and it's not yet perceived as to be overbought. So in that sense, it's really good. It implies that further upside is more likely at this point. Once again, if Bitcoin runs towards 100,000 or lower, this narrative will change. But if we continue to maintain 103K for Bitcoin, maybe even jump up to 104K, I think there's a solid chance we're going to see this coin here continue higher. Now, we got to recognize we are still underneath the cloud, and the lagging span is not free and clear of the price action. So until we close, just say at the current price point, 174 or higher today, we're probably going to be in a position where we might expect further downside. But I don't recommend taking longs or shorts right now. We're in this weird transition when Bitcoin, when you have like altcoin dominance and Bitcoin dominance kind of flip-flopping, it's important to recognize that trading alts today may not be the best call, and that Bitcoin might be the one you want to consider. And what I mean by that is Bitcoin is showing strength in high volume and lower time frames, implying further upside is likely, and alts are kind of lagging behind. So I don't really like to trade alts when they are underperforming versus Bitcoin. All that being said, regardless of that fact, here at this point, we do have a slightly larger propensity to go higher than we are to go lower, but we're also in a tricky place right now, and I don't really love trading these type of situations. So if I'm going to tell you honestly here, I would avoid trading Solana for the moment until we have an indicative closure above our, Ichimoku cloud at the very least at 175 or higher today, or Bitcoin successfully kind of maintains its volume and altcoins kind of break free from their local high. So if we get a closure at like 180 or higher, then I think we're good to go. But between now and then, we kind of got to wait this one out. That's just my thoughts. What do you think? And I'd love to hear your ideas, your concept there. Go ahead and comment below. Let me know. Join us over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you haven't yet already. And also make sure to take advantage of this deposit reward bonus. Only 24 hours left in this year. It expires tomorrow. But yeah, we'll look forward to working with you. Thanks again so much for the awesome feedback. Thanks so much. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care of yourself out there. Bye-bye.